they won't fit in the air. So, welcome to our parish. This morning, if you're visiting our area and would like to join our parish, please fill out one of the white cards that are in the pews in front of you and hand it to one of our greeters, who I'll introduce at the end, and we'll get you connected with our parish. First, I would like to extend a happy name day to our tallest parishioner, Tim, who is celebrating your name day today. I'm going to pull out the feast of St. Timothy. Also would like to extend a big thank you to Ye Holy Crew of Tampa, captained by John Pocus. And come on up here, John, for just a second. John's crew yesterday consisted of Mary Moss, Alexandra Garrica, Ed Garrica, Brett and Anna Maurer, Mike Zenick, and Charlie Hambos, and they made a near record $2,250 for our church. So we thank you for that, John, and we hope you too. And next week, is the big parade where we charge double and we get double attendance. So if we get a double of that crew, we had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had about 9 people yesterday, so if we get about 15 people, park about 3 to 4 times the cars, and make 3 to 4 times the cash, that would be awesome. So if you were interested in joining Ye Holy Crew, come and see John of the famous mustache, the captain of our crew in the hall, or give him a call during the week. Thanks, John. God bless. Next, we have a Divine Liturgy this week, Wednesday, for the Feast of St. Gregory. It'll be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Our Young at Heart is having their annual Apostolic Glendy in 2 weeks. If you haven't bought your tickets, please do so. It's February 4th. It'll be a lot of fun. And on February 5th, it's our Mission Sunday, and we're collecting icons this year for Mission Sunday, in addition to having a wonderful lunch. If you've got icons at home that you haven't used or are not using, we're collecting icons that are going to be sent over to third world countries to Orthodox missions. So please bring icons that you're not using on February 5th, and we'll put them to a great use. I'm going to make, just as a word of warning, I'm going to make a political reference today, but I'm not making a political statement. So don't read any political statement into what I'm going to say. I'm just trying to make a point. My question to you is, how many people have an opinion about our current president? How many people have an opinion, good, bad, or otherwise? How many people have an opinion? Okay, just about everybody has an opinion. All right? How many people know 5 facts about the current president? Could write, a paragraph about it. How many people know something about it? All right, just about everybody. Now, how many people have ever had lunch with him? Anybody ever have lunch with the current president? How about the last president? Anyone ever have lunch with him? We'll be bipartisan. All right, so we know a lot about the current president, and about the last president, and about the president before him. But we probably don't know them, because we've never spent some time with them. So we know about them, but we don't know them. So what I want to talk about today is the difference between knowing about something and knowing something. We know a lot of people. Or actually, we know a lot about a lot of people. We probably could say something about 50 people, 100 people, maybe more than that. But how many people do we truly know? And how many people truly know us? I mean, how many people have we spent some quality time with to really know what's going on in their head, to really know what their life is about, to really know about their triumphs, and really know about their weaknesses and their insecurities? I mean, the fact is that we know a lot about a lot of people, but we actually don't really know a lot of people. And you could say the same thing. How many people know something about you versus how many people really know who you are? And how many people do you really share with about yourself, about your deepest dreams, your deepest fears? We don't really have an environment that encourages that or fosters that. In fact, our society is very surface. In fact, I tell people when they come for premarital counseling, and those who remember my premarital counseling, that we live in a culture of lying. When I go to the restaurant and the waiter says, "How are you doing?" I'm going to say fine, no matter what I'm feeling. because I'm not going to share with a stranger if I'm having a bad day. And the waiter is going to say, and what if I say to the stranger, I'm having the worst day of all? To the waiter, he's going to say, do you want fries with that? I mean, he doesn't care really how my day is going. And if he tells me, I'm having the worst day, and I'm going to say, that's fine, but I would like to stay, medium well. All right? We don't really want to know other people. Maybe we don't have the opportunity, maybe we don't trust people. Whatever the reason is, people don't really want to know us, and we don't really want to know a lot of people. And we're missing out on something really big in life because we don't take a relationship to a deeper level. So now, let's move away from politics and people, and let's talk about Christ. There's a difference between knowing about Christ and knowing who Christ is. And this morning we encounter a man named Zacchaeus who wanted to know Christ. He knew about him. He knew enough about him that he knew that he was passing through town. He knew enough about him that he knew he was popular. He knew enough about him that he knew there were to be crowds around him. And he knew that he was a short guy, and he knew that he wasn't very popular. Zacchaeus, that is. Zacchaeus knew that Zacchaeus wasn't very popular because he was a tax collector, and none of them were popular. In fact, I met someone once who works for the IRS, and he said, don't tell anyone about me, about what I do, because they won't like me. And he was a likable guy. So most people in town didn't like Zacchaeus, and he knew that. So he was thinking ahead, and he ran up and he climbed up into a tree so he could see who Jesus was. And Jesus saw him up in the tree, and he said, Zacchaeus, come down from there. I want to have lunch in your house, and I want to do it today. There was a sense of immediacy with Jesus. He didn't say, make an appointment with one of the disciples or stop by the office. He said, come down from the tree, and I want to have lunch, and I want to do that today in your house. And Zacchaeus had this light bulb moment because he really decided to know who Christ was. And when he looked at who Christ was and he looked deep at who he was, he said, I am not a very good person. I'm a thief. This whole town knows that I'm a thief. And if I've defrauded anyone in this town of anything, I restore it fourfold. Because I don't want to be a thief anymore. Because now I've come to Christ and I realize that what I'm doing is not the life that Christ intended for me to have. And the reaction of the crowd wasn't, praise God, someone has seen the light. Everyone was upset. They said, look at this guy. He gets to be with Jesus, and what's wrong with Jesus that he's going to be with this guy who's a sinner? And Jesus looked at all of them and said, even this man is the son of Abraham. Even this man is a child of God. And today salvation has come to his house because now he knows God. He doesn't just know about him. He knows him. And because he knows him, he puts what he knows into some kind of action. He doesn't just keep it to write a term paper about God, but he puts what he knows into some action about God. And so the lesson to us is there's a difference between knowing about God and knowing God. Knowing about Christ and knowing Christ. We can all write a term paper about the Lord, but do we know the Lord? Do I know the Lord? Do I really know the Lord? Do you really know the Lord? Are we spending time with the Lord to get to know the Lord? Or are we just filling our heads with religious trivia? That's a difficult question. I don't know how much I know about the Lord, but I know that whatever I know, I need to know more. Because I don't know the Lord as well as I should know the Lord. Because if I knew the Lord as well as I should know the Lord, I would come into the church crawling on my knees every time I came in here. If I really knew the Lord the way I should know the Lord, I wouldn't do a lot of the things that I'm doing that are not godly things. And the same could be said for everybody, probably. So how do we come to know the Lord? We come to know the Lord through the church and all the things that the church is doing. Now let me zoom out 1 minute and talk about Zacchaeus. Who is Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus is a figure we read about in the Bible. But today Zacchaeus is anybody who wants to know who is the Lord. Zacchaeus is the person that had something bad happen in their life, scratching their head and wondering, where was the Lord for us? Zacchaeus is the college student who on the college campus is hearing all kinds of things about religion is nothing and the Lord is just a fairy tale. But they're still coming to church. Zacchaeus is the person whose life has been kicked to the corner and is looking for hope and meaning and purpose. Zacchaeus is the person who comes into the church, who wants to know who Christ is and needs someone to explain that. Zacchaeus is somebody who's middle-aged, and maybe they look at their life and they're wondering, how's my life stacking up to the way that I dreamed it would stack up when I was 20? Or how I dreamed maybe that God would think my life would be when I was 20. Zacchaeus might be sitting next to you in the pews today. Zacchaeus might be sitting next to you tomorrow at your job. Zacchaeus might live next to you. Zacchaeus might not, the person who does not know Christ at all, but who's looking for some meaning, that person is Zacchaeus. So how can we minister to Zacchaeus? First we have to find him, then we have to minister to him. And we do that through the church. And we don't do that only the priest, or the parish council, or the choir, or the Sunday school teachers. Everybody's doing that. Everyone is supposed to be finding Zacchaeus and bringing him to Christ. Because maybe tomorrow I'm Zacchaeus, and I need one of you to bring me to Christ. Because maybe tomorrow my life will go in a bad direction, and I'm going to need some help, and some encouragement, and some refocusing. And Zacchaeus is everybody, and everybody has the ability to find him. So I'm going to conclude this morning by telling you again, I mentioned this last Sunday, about our strategic planning committee and our strategic plan. And the purpose of the plan, if someone says, what are we doing, Father? The purpose of the plan is to do what Jesus said in the gospel, to seek and to save the lost, but to do it in an orderly way. How are we going to do that? Who is going to do that? What does it mean to seek? What does it mean to save? And who are the lost people? We got to do that with some kind of plan. Otherwise, we're like a hamster running around the wheel. We're just moving and moving and moving and moving, and we don't know what is happening, what we're achieving, where we're falling behind. We don't know that. So we have to approach that with a plan. And that's what the strategic plan is all about. How can we bring Zacchaeus to Christ? How can we go from knowing about Christ to knowing him? And how can we do it, our community, together? So the one step in the plan that we're doing today is a survey. This is the second survey that we're putting out. And there will be probably a third, there will definitely be a third, and there may be a fourth one. Again, to collect information from you about our parish. We didn't have a great result on the first survey. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe it wasn't put out the right way. So today we're making it very easy. We have it in a paper form. You don't have to have a computer. We have it in paper form. And we have many copies. And there's an incentive. If you fill out the survey, it'll take you 5 to 10 minutes. Fill out a survey. Give it to one of our strategic planning people. They're going to enter your name in a drawing. And one person who fills out the survey today is going to win $100 just for filling out the survey. So a little incentive. So I hope that you'll pick out one of these surveys in the hall. It asks some really benign questions about the scope of what we're doing and whether the scope of what we're doing is adequate or if there's an area that we forgot about. We want to make sure that before we start setting goals in different areas, maybe there's an area of church life we forgot about. Or maybe we have covered all the bases. But anyway, we want to know from you. And we need at least 100 of these to make it statistically viable. Again, so please pick up one of these forms. They'll be in the hall. It'll take you about 10 minutes probably to fill it out. If you agree with everything, it'll take you even less. But if you don't agree, then that's fine. We want to hear from you what you agree, what you don't agree, because we're going to do this plan together. And the reason why we're going to do it at all is because we have an obligation to seek and save the lost. We have the obligation to Zacchaeus. The Zacchaeus we know, and the one that's outside the church that we don't know, that is living a life that wants to know Christ and just doesn't know how to do it. We're going to worry about the church, and we're going to worry about the unchurched also. It's not enough just to know about, we have to know, and that's what we're doing today. So God bless you and keep you. Thank you for being here and sharing a beautiful liturgy this morning, and I hope that you have a wonderful and beautiful